why do Scientologists celebrate Christmas if they don't believe in Jesus, they don't believe in God, they don't believe in heaven or hell, they don't believe in an afterlife in the way that the world's major religions believe in an afterlife. They do believe in eternal life, they just don't believe in an afterlife. Why do Scientologists celebrate Christmas? I want to answer this question from the perspective of someone who grew up in Scientology, and I also want to differentiate it from another related question, which is, why does Scientology have a cross as a symbol? And make a note: Scientology symbol versus cross. Okay, so, and I'm just going to answer this question purely from my personal perspective and experience. Even if even if my own answer betrays an ignorance of the wider world. Growing up, I just thought that everyone celebrated Christmas. Now, if you had asked me even as a child, I probably would have known everyone except Jewish people. Like, I think that's what I thought the two groups were. Jewish people celebrate Hanukkah, and everyone else celebrates Christmas. It wasn't even Jewish people celebrate Hanukkah and Christians celebrate Christmas. It was Jewish people celebrate Hanukkah, everyone else celebrates Christmas. Now, growing up, my best friend was Jewish, and his whole family was Jewish, and they celebrated Hanukkah and we celebrated Christmas. So that's, that's at least how I was as a young child introduced to the concept of Judaism and Hanukkah. As a young child, I wouldn't even have occurred to me to differentiate between like Muslims or anything like that. There was Jewish people celebrate Hanukkah and have the menorah and the dreidel, and everyone else celebrates Christmas and has the trees and the presents. Now, I will say, even in present day, it is my understanding, and please correct me in the live chat if I'm wrong, correct me in any way. I'm sorry, doesn't everyone in the United States who's not Jewish celebrate Christmas? Okay, I understand Muslims are probably not going to celebrate Christmas. I understand there's certain religions, and God, you guys know I'm going to possibly get this wrong, but do Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate Christmas, right? They're not allowed to celebrate holidays. Correct me if I got that wrong in the live chat, guys. Do like Christian Scientists not celebrate holidays? I understand there are religious groups in the United States who probably identify as Christian groups who, for whatever reason, don't celebrate Christmas. But one of the reasons I am surprised how often I get the question, why do Scientologists celebrate Christmas, is I go, don't all atheists and agnostics in the United States celebrate Christmas? I do not know anyone in my life, the vast majority of whom I would say are atheists. I do not know anyone in my life who has ever expressed any confusion or conflict about celebrating Christmas, even though they don't believe in God or Jesus. And it's never come up to me, except in the comment section of my videos, people asking, well, I don't understand why Scientologists celebrate Christmas. I go, because the whole country celebrates Christmas, unless you're Jewish, is my superficial level answer. So, my mom's family, for example, grew up Christian. My mom grew up going to church. Whenever we would visit our grandma, we'd end up going to church with grandma. So like my mom grew up celebrating Christmas in a Christian family. But I just grew up celebrating Christmas, but without any involvement in Christianity or church or believing in God or Jesus. And it's probably a good example for, any newcomers to the channel, probably a good example to explain. Scientologists do not believe in a supreme being. And even if there's some little loopholes where some Scientologists will tell you that technically they never relinquished their belief in a single supreme being, even if some Scientologists will claim that. So I'll say, okay, fine. Technically, it is possible to believe in a unspecified supreme being, as long as your understanding of that supreme being is that supreme being somehow created all other beings. And then all other beings together created everything else, which, by the way, is inconsistent with any normal conception of a supreme being. But in Scientology, it is taught that we, as individuals, are eternal spiritual beings, natively godlike and basically immortal, inherently immortal. And that we collectively, as spiritual beings, created the physical universe, everything, time, space, matter, energy, everything. So I always grew up thinking that because L. Ron Hubbard said that we collectively as individual beings created everything, by definition, that excludes the concept of a single supreme being. But it's one thing about faith, you guys, it doesn't have to make any damn sense. And I do know Scientologists and former Scientologists who say they always have believed in a supreme being before getting into Scientology, and they never gave up their belief in a supreme being while being in Scientology. And whereas I think that doesn't make any goddamn sense, I can't call those people liars. So my point here is, even if a Scientologist could say that they believe in a supreme being, they're probably full of shit, but even if they could say that, you most certainly cannot believe in something like Jesus or Muhammad or any prophets or any messengers of God, or I'm being inarticulate with my words. And I totally lost my train of thought, you guys. Okay, we're talking about celebrating Christmas. And I'm looking at the live chat as well. I know my point was, even if you can justify pretending that you believe in God, you cannot justify pretending that you believe in Jesus. I don't remember why I was making that point, though. Okay, all Scientologists that I know of in the world, except for the Jewish Scientologists, celebrate Christmas. And at none of my time in Scientology did I ever hear a Scientologist question that. I think where I was going with that is, it just seems to me that all the Christians in the United States know damn well that even atheists celebrate Christmas. I'm so surprised how many questions I get about this in my comments section. And for those of you who've wondered about this and who have asked me about it in the comments section, do me a favor and give me a quick little explanation, if you're watching this video, if you see this video on the replay, of what is it that makes you wonder about that when it comes to Scientology. Oh, maybe that's because most people who identify as non-Christian, religious but non-Christian, have some other holiday that they celebrate that would sort of supersede Christmas. And I guess that's kind of what I wanted to go with Scientology. Oh, that's where I was going with this, to explain to the newcomers that it's actually not possible to be a Christian and to be a Scientologist. That was my point. One of the tricks that Scientology tries to play, they're trying to trick the world. They're trying to trick the media. They're trying to trick potential recruits, is that you can be a Scientologist and be any other religion, because Scientology is not a faith-based belief system. It is a technology. It provides tools for handling problems in life. And it requires a way to know yourself better. But by knowing yourself better, you also understand God better. That's all total horseshit. That's all total horseshit. That's some Scientology doublespeak. It is not possible to be a Scientologist and be a Christian. It is not possible to be a Scientologist and be an actual true believing Jew. Although there are a lot of Jewish Scientologists, and the way that works out is just more people who are culturally Jewish. If you were raised Jewish and you get into Scientology, you're still Jewish. And if you're And so it's funny, in Scientology, there are a lot of Scientologists who do identify as Jewish. I will tell you, there are 0 Scientologists I ever encountered who identify as Christian. And the only time you run across that is like celebrities, Scientology celebrities. Oop, I think I spit on this. Scientology celebrities like Juliette Lewis and I don't know, did Kirstie Alley ever say this when she was alive? Who actually say that they're Christians. And it's a blatant lie. It's a blatant lie. Scientologists know it's a blatant lie. Scientologists know why the celebrity is lying. Scientologists actually applaud the celebrity for lying because they think they're doing something that's going to create good public relations for Scientology and going to make some religious people more likely to get into Scientology. Now, let's say you truly believe in God and Jesus, and you're a true, honest-to-God believing, Bible-thumping Christian, and you walk into a church of Scientology. First of all, they're going to tell you right up front that it's not a problem. They're going to tell you that right up front. And certainly at no point in the introductory courses are they going to sit you down and talk you out of believing in Jesus or the Bible or God. But eventually, when you get onto your major Scientology services, there's something in Scientology called mixing practices or engaging in other practices. And eventually it will become a problem. Eventually it will become a conversation that the ethics officer has to have with you. And even if somehow you're able to make it all the way up Scientology's lower non-confidential bridge to the state of clear, even if somehow you're able to do that while retaining a belief in Jesus, you will not get onto the OT levels as long as you convince the ethics officer the only reason that you still go to church is to keep good relations with your friends and your family. And I think if you ask other former Scientologists this question, you'll get a similar answer. I'm curious if anyone else would have a different answer. But you know who'll never give you this answer? A current Scientologist. And a current Scientologist would say that the reason for the discrepancy is that current Scientologists are the only ones telling the truth, and former Scientologists are all lying. When the reality is, current Scientologists aren't allowed to tell you the truth, and only former Scientologists are. So there you go.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe.